So we are back here in Romania at Baloo's enclosure, and we are here accompanied by a bear expert, and she is doing a welfare assessment and is also looking at the conditions that he is currently in. So and with that we hope to build our legal case even stronger.
I've been assessing sanctuaries and governmental facilities on wild animal captive care in Asia, Africa and Europe for the last 19 years, and I've been mostly focusing on bear welfare, captive bear welfare for the last 14 years. So we came here today. I have been asked to come see Baloo here in Romania at a ski resort to assess whether he's being taken care of, but also assess his whole environment. At first I thought it's actually quite good looking bear, but then you observe him and you realize first his mobility is quite reduced, he's quite stiff on the hips when he walks around. You can hear that the breathing is quite heavy and he's clearly in pain when he's moving a little bit too much. So he definitely has joint issues. On the door, the sliding door is just completely rusted, it can't be used anymore. But the opening is actually quite small, and when he has to go through, because that's his feeding area, that's where they feed him every day. So every day if he wants to eat, he has to go through those sliding doors, those small openings, and we could observe earlier that he was actually really struggling going through because he has to go down to fit through, and that's quite painful for him. I heard the ski resort, I thought it would be more in the mountain, but it's actually quite inside the village. Around the houses there's a lot of noise, a lot of activities, a lot of people coming to visit Baloo, and so it's quite intense for that bear. And I was also quite surprised because the enclosure was completely abandoned, I think years ago. It doesn't provide anything for Baloo to actually have a natural behavior, to express natural behavior. It's just the ground, some concrete tunnels, and that's it. There's nothing in there that can help Baloo be a bear, behave like a proper bear. So that's one thing. The second is that because it's not maintained, it's falling apart. There's a lot of cables popping out. There's a lot of breaking parts that could be dangerous for Baloo. And also provides, we're going to see, but there's areas that provide escape routes for Baloo. I mean, could really escape pretty much any time if being maybe provoked. And so there's serious concerns, not just for the welfare of the bear, but also for the safety of the community living around the bear. One of the things we look at is the trees in the enclosures, because bear can climb trees. And on this one we can see there's just a log. I mean, it's a heavy bear, so he could either fall and injure himself badly because the log breaks, or he can just get out. And so I'm not sure how long it has been there, but it is definitely not something you want to see in any bear enclosure. Clearly we can see in the stools on the ground that actually it's not adequate. It's got quite a bit of issues, diarrheas, and it's just not the right consistencies. It seems to have mostly a bit of vegetables, a bit of water and bread. When actually those bears here in Romania would feed a lot on berries and roots, and I don't think it gets any of this here. And so I think it's going to have, we can see the teeth already quite rotten, some are just completely loose, just hanging there. And it probably, we didn't do any blood tests, we didn't run any blood tests, but I would suspect also diabetic issues, which consequences on organs. By moving to another sanctuary that has actually high standards, it's also the opportunity for him to be fed properly with proper feeding, not only just a good diet, but a way also to feed the bears in captivity. It's not the same at liberty. They respect the diet, but they respect also all day long different feeding times. So the animals are constantly foraging. They're constantly looking for food, which they would do also in the wild, which is extremely important. And also just to be stimulated by also smelling and seeing other bears. One of the issues with the enclosure is that absolutely anyone can come by and feed Baloo whatever they want. And that's why we found plastic bottles and plastic ships. That's a real concern for anyone, children, anyone can just come and pass their hands and try to touch Baloo. So maybe accidents happened before, we just might not be aware of it, but that is definitely something you would never want to see when it comes to wild animals in captivity, any of them. Cruelty is not just harming an animal, it's also about neglect. And when we see Baloo, there is absolutely nothing for him here. So yeah, there is actually cruelty involved here by definition, and it is actually recognized in Romania by law, and that's what we're going to try to highlight, that there is actually grounds for cruelty and grounds for him to be moved to Liberty Sanctuary.
With this report of this bear expert and the other expert assessments that we have, we hope to, to actually be able to have a really compelling case for Baloo's relocation to Liberty Sanctuary, and we hope they will bring it forward.